this is from Kat Bailey over at IGN. Project Bloom, Pokemon Studios teaming up with Private Division for ambitious samurai game. Stunning concept art hints at what may be Game Freak's first true foray into high-end AAA development. Game Freak, the studio best known for Pokemon, is partnering with Private Division in what appears to be its first foray into the AAA action-adventure space. Private Division announced that it is working with Game Freak on Project Bloom, an ambitious new action-adventure game. In a statement, Game Freak director Kota Furushima said that fans can expect something very different from its usual monster collecting fare. We're thrilled to have the opportunity to create new IP that is bold and tonally different from our prior work, Furushima said. From the beginning, Private Division was the publisher we wanted to work with on our new game. Their track record and global expertise give us all the confidence to create a sweeping new action-adventure game that we can't wait to share more about in the future. Private Division head Michael Waraz added that the publisher is honored to be the first Western publisher to be working with Game Freak. Along with the announcement, Game Freak and Private Division included the new project's first piece of concept art, which features a samurai standing in a forest grove. The evocative image in which the samurai is dwarfed by massive gnarled trees suggests that the new game will feature a greater scope than of Game Freak's projects to date. It does continue here, because some of you guys may not know, Game Freak is popularly associated with Nintendo, but it technically remains an independent studio that has produced games for various platforms over the years. They include Little Town Hero, Tembo the Badass Elephant, and Pocket Card Jockey, all of which have been released for platforms outside the Nintendo Switch. But in a previous interview with IGN, Game Freak General Manager of Development Department Masafumi Saito talked about the studio's desire to work with all sorts of creators, both inside Japan and elsewhere in the world. So just based off the concept art alone, it gave me it made me think of like a Elden Ring but samurai. Like literally looking at this picture, I'm like, oh, this looks like the dang forest in Elden Ring with the bears. But you're a freaking samurai or something. Like we don't know what the gameplay is going to be like, but
that press release it felt like Game Freak was saying, thank you finally for letting us actually make a game that's not on a phone. Thank you for letting us actually make a game experience.
Right.
They were just so overjoyed.
Yeah, I'm stoked to see what they come up with. Cause even just like letting them work with something with more power. Like up until now, it's always been like, oh, make a game for the Game Boy, make a game for the 3DS, make a game for the whatever, like the Switch. And it's like, oh man, like make a game now for the PS5 and Xbox Series X and PC. That's just going to look gorgeous. Like it's just going to be such a wild resume that they have. It's like all these Pokemon games. And like, if it's anything even remotely close to this concept art, it's just like this, gorgeous, like Elden Ring style, like world. It's like, oh man,
here's where the rub comes in, right? If they put this game out on the Series S and the PS5 and it still looks and runs bad, then we know we have a Game Freak problem and not a Nintendo and the Pokemon company making them rush to get it done to try to get a game out. We know it's them that would be incompetent.
Yeah.
So this is going to be the real big like litmus test for it.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah. Up until, although, I don't know. I guess if it's being co-developed with Private Division, like Private Division does not put out trash. So I would hope there would be some sort of like, either they would pick up the slack or they would be willing to delay a game. Private Division would be before putting out trash, right? Like I'm trying to think of the games Private Division has done. Like they worked on they did Ollie World. They've worked on Hades. They worked on Kerbal Space Program. They worked on Outer Worlds, and there's a bunch of other ones here that I've actually never heard of, some smaller games. But yeah, like they have made some very, very high quality games. So I would hope, even though, they're coming up and working with Game Freak, they would be willing to stand their ground and be like, no, we're putting out quality. Like if like you said, it's a Game Freak problem and not a Pokemon company problem. and for those of you who don't know what we're even referencing, we're talking about just how Pokemon Scarlet and Violet came out and
awful,
and they're still like they've not been patched.
Nope.
Like there's not been hardly any patches that have addressed any of the issues, so they're still almost 7-8 months in now, and like just kind of barely
they've done
works.
other little things here and there, but nothing like substantial as far as performance, which is the one thing that we asked them for.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah, so I'm stoked about this. Yeah, like we've already said we don't need to beat the dead horse here, but both very competent and skilled game development studios teaming up here. And I'm like, all right, give it to me. Even if it's just Pokemon IRL, you're a samurai. Yeah, just
you got a dual Pokemon. Jigglypuff just starts pulling out a blade.
This super dark, gritty samurai Pokemon game. Basically, it's Pokemon Origins Arceus, but like real life, instead of like cartoony graphics. It would be awesome. But congrats to Private Division and the folks over there. We have a friend who's connected over there, and
we know some people.
I know. When I tweeted about that, and I was like, dude, he's like, what did he say? He's like, heck yeah, or I don't know. He made some comment back to me, but I was like, you dirty dog, because he would have known about this beforehand.
You
knew. Why
didn't say anything? We could have had the scoop of the century.
Super Gamer Boys could have been put on the map as someone who knows something. Oh man, but no, it's probably better this way. That way he doesn't lose a job,
Right.
Just to be very clear too, if anyone from Game Freak and Private Division is listening this for whatever reason, we did not know. I just want to be clear, like we weren't given any scoop. We're saying we wish he gave us the scoop. I just want to make that abundantly clear so that no one gets in trouble. Thank you so much for watching that clip from our podcast. Remember, if you want to watch the whole episode, the full episode, link will be in the description below. You can click on that and check it out. We got listener questions. We got more news segments. We got what you playing. We got a lot of fun things. So yeah, more than just the news. There's a lot more to the show that you should go check out. So remember, click that link in the description. Check out that full episode.